Hey folks, today I'm going to show a little bit behind the scenes of how to actually shoot a YouTube cooking video. And so I've got my little GoPro set up over here, and of course the first thing you need to shoot videos is a camera. It really doesn't matter what camera you use. You can use your iPhone if you want. A lot of people do. It's a great camera. You just need to get a tripod for it, and that brings me to my next point is, if you're like me and you shoot by yourself, you need a tripod. Get a good tripod. Don't get a really cheap one unless that's all you can afford, but you'll probably regret it later. But invest in a decent one. I have a couple of good ones. I think this one is a Bauer. I think I actually paid like 30 bucks for this one, and it's really nice because it's kind of small, it's light, it's portable. I use this one a lot when I travel because it collapses into hardly anything, and it also, one of the legs screws off and it can be used as a monopod with your camera, which is really helpful. So if you can get a tripod that's a combination tripod and monopod, that's really helpful, especially when you're traveling. So what I've got here, I've got set up is a 2-camera system, and you don't necessarily have to do this, but if you want your videos to go to the next level, multiple cameras are so much easier. It's a lot easier to get the cameras set up in the positions that you want them. So I have this one back here that's going to be getting, you know, the full front of me talking, and then I have this camera that's focused on the items that are going to be that I'm going to be using in the video. And here's a tip: this is a must. You have to have good lighting. It is really critical. The lighting in my kitchen is not good. It's just got these overhead fluorescents, and it makes your videos look terrible. I cannot stress enough how important lighting is. This lighting kit, I actually got it on sale on Amazon, but there's some other really good ones that you can get, and I'll put a link in the description box of this video of what I would recommend. These were $150. There's actually 3 lights that came with it. I only use the 2 in the house, but I have another one in the garage if I need to use it. But for what I do in here, these two light kits are great. They work great. They're compact fluorescent bulbs, and they have 2 settings. This is full on. You could turn them down a little bit if you want, but they're nice. They're really inexpensive. I think I paid $150 for the whole kit, and it came with a green screen and everything, and it's really nice. So I've got my one camera. That's my main camera. That's the Canon T5i, and I have that back there like that because it does autofocus, so it will track me and keep me in focus. And then I have my Canon T3i over here, which I focus on the ingredients. So I'll be here and I'll give an intro and talk about what I'm going to be doing, and this is going to be shooting the ingredients. So then in my editor, I bring in the video from both of these cameras, and then I can switch back and forth. So I can start out with footage from this camera, and then when I talk about the ingredients, I'll switch to this footage. So I've got everything laid out here. And if you don't have a multi-camera setup, you just simply have to do your announcement and then stop the camera, move the camera over here, and then shoot your ingredients, and then finish that, and then move over to the kitchen. So with this, I will leave this camera right here the entire time, and then for the next scene I'll move this camera over to here because I'm going to be using my stove. So I'll position the camera here to get a down shot here, and I'll have all the ingredients. And another really good tip is I'm showing the ingredients that I'm using here, but then I'm going to portion all of these out and have everything ready to go. And what I like to do, if I've got a lot of ingredients, I like to put them on a paper plate. So I can go, okay, you need a teaspoon of cinnamon, you need a tablespoon of chili powder, and you need allspice, blah, 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 and they're all on the paper plate, and you don't waste any time measuring anything out. So have everything on the paper plate, and then dump it into the pot with everything else. So that's another tip is to plan ahead, have everything pre-measured, ready to go. If it calls for a cup of water or a cup of chicken stock or 6 cups of chicken stock, have that ready to go. You don't want to be fumbling around. If it calls for something like ketchup or something that's going to be in a jar, make sure you open that jar. And if there's like a little paper tab or a plastic tab, you want to make sure that's off so that you're ready to go. You don't have to be fumbling around, you know, trying to open up a package or something. And it's the same with anything. You don't want to be fumbling around trying to open something, because you want to try to keep your videos as concise as you can and as short as possible, but still get all of the information in. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing a 12-minute video if you've got 12 minutes of stuff, to, you know, information to convey, but you don't want like 3 or 4 minutes of that video being you fumbling around. So being prepared, really can't say enough about that. You have to be prepared, have everything ready to go, everything in its place. That's what the chefs call mise en place. Everything in its place, everything's ready to go. And another tip, make sure your sink is clean. You don't want a dirty sink, because people, it doesn't matter what you're making, what you're cooking, if there's like some dirty dishes or even like some glasses or empty beer cans, people, that's all they will see, and that's what they're going to comment about, and they won't care anything about your video. So if you got a clean sink, they won't complain about what's in your sink. And a lot of times I'll even remove the sponge, because I trust me, people will comment, that's a nasty looking sponge, blah blah blah. So have everything clean, have everything ready to go. I think that's about all of my tips for now. So I'm going to continue this while I actually shoot a video. I'm making a video for a Rochester, New York hot sauce, which is kind of similar to the Texas hot wiener sauce, but it's used a lot differently. So I'm going to have my GoPro going in the background here out of the way, so you won't see it on my other cameras, but it will be here, and it will be able to pick up what I'm doing, and I'll periodically talk to the GoPro when I'm doing something. So and then once all this is done, I'll take you through a little bit of the editing process, but I'm not going to go through all that much, because editing is kind of personal. You know, everybody's got their opinion on what's the best video editor to use. I use a free one called Lightworks. You can download it. It works on the Mac, it works on Linux, it works on Windows, and it's free, and it does a great job, and that's what I like to use. I've been playing around with Final Cut Pro, which is really good, and it really helps with synchronizing these cameras. And I don't have it with me. I should have brought it out. See, that's have everything in its place. I screwed up there. I have one of those clappers, and I had been doing that, and I found it difficult to line up to synchronize the video, because it wasn't a perfect spike in the audio. But that's another story. But I highly recommend investing in one of those clappers. It was really inexpensive. I think it was 15 bucks, but I really like it. And so let me get everything ready here to get this video going, so I can get this hot sauce going, and then I'll see you later on the GoPro, and then hopefully wrap this up, and maybe you folks can learn a little bit about how to shoot your own video. And probably one of the most important things about shooting any kind of video for YouTube, especially cooking, is to just do it. Just get a camera. It doesn't matter what you got. Just get it and do it. When I first started out, I didn't do my first cooking video until probably 2010, and I was just like using one of those little cheap flip cameras. I think it was like a $69 flip camera, And then I graduated up, kind of got better and better, and decided I needed to get better cameras, and that's where I'm at now with the Canon DSLRs, and it really makes a difference. I have a hard time going back and watching my old videos because the quality is not that awesome, but the content is. The recipes are really good, and so don't worry about that. Just get a camera, start shooting, play around with it, upload it to YouTube, see what it looks like, share it with your friends. You can keep it unlisted on YouTube so that people that you don't want won't see it. Then you can just share that link to your friends, and so you don't have to worry about that. So like I said, just do it. Shoot the video, see how it looks. Don't worry about it. If people like it, they'll like it. If they don't, they don't. But if the more you do it, you'll learn how to do it, and you'll learn things along the way. You'll find other people that'll help you, and that's the beauty of YouTube. And oh, I did have one more final thing. Get on the camera. Have your face on camera. A lot of people don't do that, and I didn't do that at first. I just showed like my hands, and I was doing something, I was talking, whatever. But to have a really successful YouTube channel, your audience wants to connect to you. They want to see you, and when you're in front of the camera, that's why this guy is out there, and he's just watching me, and I can periodically talk and then still get things done. But you want to be in front of the camera because people really do connect with you that way, and they're more likely to come back and watch more of your videos. So if you're camera shy, well, just get out there and do it. Don't worry about it. I'm not the best looking person in the world, but I'm pretty comfortable on the camera, and then you just work from that. Just work from that. So there's kind of in a nutshell how I shoot YouTube videos. So stay tuned for some more of this. This probably won't be that long. It looks like so far I got about 12 minutes of this, and then I'll just have some more footage of me shooting, and then that'll wrap up this video. But I got to continue this video because I want to get this hot sauce made. So stay tuned for more. Okay, here we go. One more tip. Make sure you turn your phone to vibrate or turn it off. Nothing worse than being in the middle of a shot and your phone goes off. And here's the clapper that I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to be using that. Okay, let's get this going. Go turn on the cameras and start rolling. This camera, I'm just going to shoot the ingredients, so I focus that, and I turn my viewer around. That's why I like the T3i and the T5i, because they have where you can rotate the LED screen around, or the LCD screen around, so that you can see what you're shooting. So that camera's on, but I haven't turned it on to record yet. So I want to get them set up. Okay, that looks good. Okay, camera 1 is turned on. Camera 2 is on. So now they're both filming. So now create the sync. So you want to be able to see the clapper in both. Oops, didn't turn my screen around over here. So I can see what I'm doing. Got to be able to see what you're doing. Okay, so you want your clapper to be in both of your viewers, your viewfinders, so that you can see visually and you're going to get the clap. Okay, ready, set, action. See, now I've got that spike that I can sync to. Okay, shirt tucked in, ready to go. What am I making today? Rochester hot meat sauce. Hey folks, today I'm going to make the Rochester hot meat sauce. This is very similar to the Texas hot wiener sauce that you find down in the Mid-Hudson Valley and upper New Jersey, and it's kind of like a chili sauce, but it has different ingredients. It's really inspired by the Greek restaurants, diners and stuff in New York, and so I've got here my ingredients. I've got brown sugar, cinnamon, chili powder, allspice, cayenne pepper, cumin, ground cloves, tomato paste, an onion, salt, pepper, and I've got ground beef, but I'm not showing it here, but you'll see that in just a second. So I've got 1 pound of ground beef. So stay tuned, see how this comes together, and see if it's any good. It sounds really good to me. And traditionally in Rochester, it's used, there's several restaurants that make what's called the garbage plate. And I will be making a garbage plate with this. And the garbage plate consists of home fries, a couple of grilled hot dogs, and some baked beans. So you definitely want to stay tuned for this. Okay, that's that first segment. And I'm going to shut these cameras off and then reposition and then get these ingredients measured out and then move everything to focus over here. So stay tuned for that. Okay, all set. Everything's in its place. Got all the spices all measured out. Ready to go. Got everything set right here. Everything's going to go into the pot here. And I've repositioned this camera to focus down into the pot. And I've got my other camera back there that I can talk to. So everything is set to go. So let's start cooking. I'm going to go ahead first and turn this on because I got oil in there that I want to heat up. And I don't want to wait for that. So that's going. So now let's turn on our cameras. That is focused on that. Camera 1's focused on the wide angle. Camera 2 is focused on the food. The GoPro is focused on me. So now we go live. Now it's going to be impossible for me to get this shot with both of them. So I'm just going to go with the main camera. Action. Okay folks, I got all of my ingredients ready to go, and I'm over here at the stove, and I'm going to start by sauteing some onions. I've got a tablespoon of olive oil here. I'm going to saute the onions, and I forgot to mention a clove of garlic, clove of minced garlic. I'm not going to add that just yet. I'm just going to saute these onions for a few minutes. Let them get soft, nice and soft, and I'm going to add the garlic. So stay tuned, and I'll bring you back when these are sauteed. Now see, this is a point where I'm going to have to stop the cameras. Stop the cameras from rolling because it's going to take a while to saute these onions. And you don't want people to wait around while you saute the onions. So come back with me when these are sauteed. Okay, my onions are ready to go, so now I'm going to turn my cameras back on. Cameras are rolling. Once again, give it a click. Okay, I went ahead and added my garlic to the onions, so they're simmered, they're sauteed. So now I'm just going to add a pound of lean ground beef. This is a ground sirloin, and it's very lean, so I'm not going to have to worry about too much grease. And to that, I'm going to go ahead and add the cup of water, because I've learned from making Cincinnati style chili is to add the water with the ground beef immediately, because that way you get a finer texture with the ground beef. So you can just mix this up. I know it kind of doesn't look very appealing at this point, but doing this will cause the ground beef to break down into smaller pieces, so you don't have to whip out an immersion blender or anything. But this will create, this will create the texture that you're going to want. Okay, I've got all my spices here, all my seasonings. I'm just going to go ahead and dump this in right now. So I have here a tablespoon of brown sugar, a teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper, a teaspoon of cayenne, a teaspoon of chili powder, a half a teaspoon of cumin, a quarter teaspoon of allspice, a quarter teaspoon of cinnamon, and a quarter teaspoon of ground cloves. I'm just going to go ahead and dump all of that directly in at this point and mix that up. Now I have a full can of tomato paste, 6 ounces. All that goes in. Turn it down to medium. Now I can tell by looking at this I'm going to need more water, so I'm going to add another cup. So I'm going to end up adding 2 cups of water to this, because this is going to simmer for probably about an hour. And that's the thing when you're cooking, you need to judge whether you need more or less of something. 'Cause it's always easier to add more than it is to take it out. So start low and then work from that. Yeah, this looks like this is a better consistency than I would expect from a sauce. And once again, this is not a chili sauce. This is not chili. We're not making chili. Although I guess you could serve it as chili. Maybe they do. Okay, that's all mixed up really well. I'm going to put the top on this, let that simmer for about an hour, and then I'll check on it. So I'm going to turn this down to a simmer, turn it down low, let this simmer for an hour. So stay tuned. I'll be back in an hour. Okay, it's going to take a while to finish simmering, so I'm just going to wrap this up. I'm not going to go through everything, but in the end, you want to connect with your audience. Get your face on the cameras. Comment, reply back to all the comments. Build your community. That's the best thing you can do to build your YouTube channel. And my friend Christopher Sharp, Chris Sharp, he has a really great book on Amazon. It's an ebook that you can download. You can buy and download and read it. And it is a really good book. I'll put a link in the description box where you can get that ebook. But I highly recommend it for anybody starting out with YouTube. And what else? Just have fun. You know, shoot your video. If people like it, they'll like it. Comment back, respond back. They'll subscribe to you. So that wraps up my kind of behind the scenes of how to shoot a YouTube video. And if you've got any questions, please leave me comments and I'll reply back to you, and maybe I'll make another video.